You probably clicked on this video. First of all, hey, thanks for clicking. And thought, what is there to know about Scooby-Doo? The premise is simple enough. You have a group of teens and their canine solving mysteries, pulling out the bad guys, pulling off their masks. But what if I told you Scooby-Doo was an alien? Did you know that? Yeah, I didn't think so. So welcome to Scooby-Doo 101. Take a seat, get comfortable, pull out your notebooks. It's time to educate. Now this is coming from a Scooby-Doo fanatic, a self-proclaimed Scooby-Doo expert, okay? 27 years old, been watching Scooby-Doo since I was like 2. Don't come for me. I know my Scooby-Doo most of the time. Now to begin, let's just get over the basics. You have Fred, the leader. Daphne, the pretty one. She's the badass, let's be honest. Velma, the smart one. Shaggy, the scared one. Scooby, the dog. Okay, there is your gang. Now, throughout the course of Scooby-Doo, sometimes it's only Daphne, Scooby, Shaggy. Sometimes it's only Shaggy and Scooby. They're people. They're not going to live together constantly. But let me get back to that comment I made that Scooby-Doo is an alien. So if we go all the way back in Scooby-Doo timeline, not in real world timeline, because if we went back in real world timeline, we don't know this information for years and years and years. But we learned that Scooby-Doo is an alien thanks to the Anunnaki. Now the Anunnaki are a species of aliens that come to Earth every so 1,000 years when all of the planets align, called Nibiru. Now, these Anunnaki cannot take a physical form, and instead of inhabiting a human, they inhabit animals. Now, we've seen this trend of mystery solvers and their talking animal through the decades of years. In the current timeline, the Mystery Inc. gang with Scooby-Doo is the current one. So, Scooby-Doo is of the Anunnaki. That's why he can talk, because he is inhabited by an Anunnaki, but his brain is physical here on Earth. It was developed as a normal animal would. So he has no memory of being Anunnaki. He has no abilities besides being able to talk. He just is. The reason of this trend of a group of 4 and their talking animal is because there was basically a evil Anunnaki that wanted to dominate, and most just called it the evil entity. Over the course of years, once it got trapped, it manipulated all these groups to come together in hopes that one of them is going to break and release it free. Namely, the animal, because it's another Anunnaki, meaning it knows its weaknesses. And so, going to the present, the evil entity is thinking Scooby-Doo is going to be the one to release him, because it always starts with the animal going rogue, basically, going against the group. But it's failed, and so this is why the evil entity has kind of had to create a new group over the decades, because, well, nobody's perfect, even in evil terms. So, after all is said and done, the evil entity gets released. Oh no, the world is ending, everybody is being eaten, quite literally. All hell breaks loose. But don't worry, Scooby and the gang stop the evil entity, they destroy it, but ultimately that creates a brand new timeline. So everything we just saw up until then does not matter, does not exist. What does still matter and exist is that we still have the core gang. They have all their memories from the previous timeline, and Scooby-Doo is still a descendant, basically, of the Anunnaki. But now where do they go from here? Well, that's where we get into the original series. Where are you? So now, welcome to Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And this is where the classic formula takes place. Of, there's a villain, Scooby and the gang show up, they chase around, they look for clues, they solve the mystery, pull off the mask, and it's just a human. Because again, this time, they have altered the timeline, and they have made a new timeline in which most of these baddies are spread around the world rather than condensed in Crystal Cove. They are spread around the world, so they have to go about looking for these, basically. Now, how do they travel from place to place? Well, obviously, the Mystery Machine. Where did they get the Mystery Machine? There are a few ways that they get this Mystery Machine over the years, but the beginning, the most prominent, is that it was part of Daphne's family. So if we don't know already, Daphne is the well-off one. She is the rich one, but she tries to not come off that way as much as she can. But they got the Mystery Machine from her and her family, and it was just a van. It was just a van, and they decided to paint it, to redo it. Now, in another timeline, because there are actually multiple timelines of Scooby-Doo kind of happening at the same time, in another timeline, the van actually belonged to a kids band group, and when they broke off, they were selling off, auctioning off, you know, these different pieces, and the Mystery Machine was one of them. But we're sticking to this main timeline right now, if you will. So, that's how they get around. That's where they got the Mystery Machine. And it is a part of the group. It is a member of the group. There's even times when Fred has given it a GPS that talks back to them.
Your next turn is 5 miles ahead. Watch out for the dips in the road, not including the ones in the back seat. That's a joke. Pothole! Watch out! Please keep your eyes on the road.
So then, where does the gang live, technically? Where did they originate? So, in the timeline, they are from Crystal Cove, but once they reset that, then, they go off on their adventures. They are solving these mysteries all over the place, and they rehome to Coolsville. So Coolsville becomes their new home base, if you will. Crystal Cove was in California, whereas Coolsville is in Ohio. Eventually, over the years, we see that the town of Coolsville in Ohio come to know who they are, deem them almost celebrities in ways, and towards the end of the timeline, do praise them.
Angry citizens have gathered outside Mystery Inc.'s offices in protest. They're insisting that the gang cooperate with the evil masked figure's demands.
Now, just because they entered, or created rather, a new timeline doesn't mean that all of their mysteries are not supernatural. They do still run into these supernatural instances. Now, whether or not that is like remnants of the evil entity, the Anunnaki, or whether that is just kind of the world they were brought into, it's not totally explained yet why there are still kind of these supernatural aspects kind of spread throughout the world, these moments or circumstances, if you will. And they're pretty far and few in between, really. We have Zombie Island, or rather Moonscar Island. We have the Chest of Demons in the Himalaya Mountains. We have the Witch's Ghost and the Ravencroft lineage. We also have Crystal and Amber, who are actual aliens. We also have human-created supernatural with these criminals they've already caught figuring out a way to give life to monsters. So it's not always a man in a mask. It is sometimes supernatural. But again, those are about far and few in between. Did any of them eventually go to school, go to a university? We do know that Velma and Fred actually kind of develop a different career over the years while they are still solving mysteries in between. Velma eventually helps work with NASA. Fred starts writing his own books. Daphne even starts to host her own TV show. Shaggy and Scooby, on the other hand, they just inherit stuff. They just inherit stuff from family. Shaggy's family is secretly rich, and they just inherit stuff, so they're fine. So class, I think that is a good beginning to our Mystery Inc. class, our Scooby-Doo 101. I appreciate everybody joining me. In the next one, we will get into relationships. We'll get into some of the gossip and the tea. So be sure to be ready for that. Have your notes ready, because we're going to jump into it. And then eventually we will jump into the villains and all of the creepiness of Scooby-Doo. But now that we have a basis of Scooby-Doo, thank you all so much for joining me. Be sure to hit the like button on your way out if you have not already, and subscribe so you don't miss out on our future class. That's going to do it for this one. So until the next one, I will catch you in our next session.